Today, I want to do a makeup look that I would want to wear if I had to participate in the Hunger Games. Something that gave me courage, made me feel fierce, and most importantly would be some kind of form of resistance. It would really capture the energy of something that could be worn in a revolution. So basically I just read the new Hunger Games book, Sunrise on the Reaping, all about Haymitch's games 25 years before the original Hunger Games. And it did really get me thinking about how makeup and style and appearance can be these really integral tools for resistance and for courage, for personal morale. And without giving too much away, they talk about in this book about how the District 12 tributes were often left with the worst stylists. They weren't cared about. And then you see the shift happen a lot in the Hunger Games and Katniss and Cinna and these costumes that he designs for her, these fierce makeup looks that help present this image of revolution. And I think it's really interesting to look at. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of her costumes, even some moments in history and modern times that we see makeup being used as resistance. And then I want to create a makeup look, something that's going to make me feel really fierce, that really sort of ready for battle energy. Not that I want to go into battle, but we do want to have these looks in our toolbox potentially to conjure a sense of bold empowerment. So that's what I'm going to try and create today, really inspired by the Hunger Games. So let's get into it. Let's look at some examples from the Hunger Games. And yeah, I'm going to create something, I hope, really, really cool. So the interesting thing about the Hunger Games is how the Capitol and citizens in the Capitol dress so outlandishly. Crazy makeup, hair, it all looks so absurd, and it's in this like really direct contrast to the people of the districts and how they're dressed and how they present. And the Capitol is like this really hyperbolic, really frivolous display of what fashion and beauty can be. But then, on the other hand, when you bring Katniss into the Capitol, you can see the ways that Cinna, her stylist throughout the games, uses these same tools in a totally different way. They're a way to bring her up. They're a way to bring her a sense of personal empowerment. In the first movie, you see her in the Girl on Fire dress, where in those interviews before the games, she spins and the dress catches on fire. That's kind of the spark for this symbol of this girl who's the girl on fire, which moves throughout the series as a really important symbol and a spark, a literal spark for revolution. That's when you start to feel Katniss has this very fiery energy that President Snow may have trouble stamping out. And of course, there's more to the story and everything that goes on. But in Catching Fire, this is when it becomes very, very important. Cinna styles both Peeta and Katniss in these costumes in that parade that is like fire after it's caught and they're like burning coals. There's a dark, fierce, powerful energy about them. Even Katniss's gaze, her makeup, and there's just this general sense of defiance. And then when it comes to her second costume in the interview, it's her like bridal costume. Then she spins and it catches on fire and turns into a mockingjay. And the mockingjay becoming this symbol of Katniss and a symbol of the revolution. And then, of course, the last book, the last couple movies are all about harnessing that look of the Mockingjay as this really warrior spirit. Cinna was so brave for creating these looks and outfits that really show how you can use a person as a communication tool through style, because you have symbols like color, you have histories to potentially honor and represent through things people wear. It's just a really interesting thing to consider. I recently watched a video by ERIN all about makeup in World War II and how there was this lipstick shade by Elizabeth Arden called Victory Red, and it was what a lot of American women wore as a symbol of their resistance. It was also a tool of personal morale, so definitely check out that video. It was so interesting and also very, very touching. You see modern women like AOC and how she rocks a red lip. When she was sworn into Congress, she also wore a white pantsuit with her red lip. And it was all about honoring women who came before her and the white of the suffragette movement, and honoring Shirley Chisholm, who was the first African-American woman elected into Congress. And then you see other iterations of makeup like drag makeup and Chapel Rowan using drag style makeup as this symbol of being outlandish, being brave, really stepping into the skin of another character, which can be so emboldening. And then along with all that, in terms of this tool of self-expression, it's also just generally this feeling of bodily autonomy and being able to control your appearance, being able to be self-expressive, be unapologetic about your uniqueness, right? And there are so many ways you can do that and create looks that on an everyday give you this sense of personal empowerment. And I certainly have some of those tools in my makeup toolkit, but let's get into the makeup. I want to create something that's really inspired by Katniss's, that look when she has the coals burning. I want to create this really like fierce kind of black eye that looks like it's also glowing like a coal. And I'm hoping it's just going to feel really kind of bold and powerful. So let's get into the makeup look. So my foundation's on, brows are on, kind of made sure they were bold enough. They're gonna like really support a bolder look. I'm gonna go in with a black. I'm gonna try out the one from the Lovers palette from Cosmic Brushes, just this one here, and start with this really intense black base. Actually, did swatch this out and it seemed like a great black as a starting point because it seems very blendable. So I kind of want this whole look to be something I would never do like on an everyday basis, and just like really lean into the dark shades. To me, black is a very powerful color. It's very fierce, kind of warrior energy. I'm gonna follow like the shape of my brow. Kind of want to keep the shape a little bit more rounded rather than like a sharp point. So just rounding out the side there. This look is very much going to be a trust the process kind of look. And I'm going to bring the eyeshadow all the way across the lid. I've always kind of wanted to do a look like Lexa from the 100. Very, very warrior type of black. But I kind of like how messy it is and how it's like almost like a mask. Feels very like something you might wear to a protest. So don't worry about being messy at first. And honestly, when it comes to something that's a look like this anyway, I don't think it is about being meticulous and perfect. You almost want there to be a raw quality to it. Now I'm going to take a gray, mid-tone gray, and use that to like blend out these edges a little bit. And from that same palette, I'm going to go into the pure white and just bring that right up under the brow. And that can help further blend this. Really deepen right here so I can start bringing a bit more dimension to the black. Mostly on the outer part of the lid, but going right here too, because I'm going to be layering the fiery shade on top of this. And the more black it is below, the more it's going to create that look of coal burning. Now I'm going to take the Danessa Myricks Lightwork palette. You guys have seen me use this shade before, Solar Rain, but in a much more wearable, kind of everyday way. Going into Solar Rain, check it out. It's a magical, magical color. I'm going to press that. In fact, I might kind of bring it even all the way to the inner corner. They needed some multi-chromes in the Hunger Games for Katniss's costume. I think it'd be cool to do kind of the same thing really on the lower lash line. So I'm gonna bring in some black. Just really wrap the eye with this effect. Even all the way into the inner corner. Taking the orange and putting it all along here. This look is going to start coming together a lot more with these next couple steps, I think. So I want to, I think, put dark in the waterline. I feel like that's just going to make it look even more intense. So I'm taking this really dark brown. At this point, I want to see what lashes will do for the look in terms of really starting to, again, bring things a little bit more finessed before I make any other adjustments and do the rest of the look. So I'm just going to do my lashes off camera and I will be one moment. Okay, I've thrown my hair up. I feel like this kind of look feels very like ready to fight kind of energy when you've got your hair up, and added a little jewel right there from like this sheet. It's like a dark orange jewel, very pretty. These little touches are what start to make a look feel a little bit more finessed. And some lashes. Yeah, I feel like it's starting to come together in what I was wanting. So some contour, some blush, the lips. Let's really bring this look home. So I'm gonna go in with a contour stick, the Sephora contour stick to start. I'm just gonna mimic, you know, this direction of the eye. Once again, just going like a little bit more than I would in any kind of normal makeup look. Just get that right below the cheekbone. For blush, I'm going to take from Phytosurgent's Exothermic, which is a much more of a darker blush. A very rosy, dark kind of red. And place that right above the contour line, going right into the temple. I feel like this shade just goes with a lot of looks because it's not competing too much with any kind of colors you might be using in any kind of normal look or intense look like this, because it's not too, you know, bright. I love the depths of it. Okay, I'm excited for this. I finally have a reason to use this Space Age Prophecy highlighter from Kaleidos. It's got like, I think, a green and a gold orange reflect. Whatever it is, it's bold. It's kind of colorful. Now's her moment, I think. Although I hope it doesn't pull too green. You know what? Whatever. Because then it looks like kind of a bird. Oh, wow. Okay. We're getting the orange reflect. Yes. I don't really know. Started to put on my nose. I don't know. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, for lips, I'm going to go in with this Unearthly liner. It's a gray. So I'm curious how it might look. I'm going to try out this sparkly gloss from Kaleidos. It's a sparkly gray called Free Fall. I do want the eyes to be most of the focus. And then lastly, I think I got to swap out these earrings. They're too basic, and do something. Honestly, these kind of remind me of the Mockingjay. Check that out. Like the details of it, very kind of almost militant feel to it in some ways. Like black armor. And this is the finished makeup look. I feel like this would go perfect with either the Mockingjay costume or that burning coal outfit thing. I really think I got this where I wanted it to be. I had a moment there. I was a little concerned, but trust the process. And it's all those little details that start to really make a look. The little jewel at the eye, lining the waterline and adding the earrings, bringing the hair back. Yeah, I really love this. This is the type of look that does feel very warrior energy, very defiant. Anytime you do kind of like a smoky, fierce eye, there is a defiant feeling to it. So I highly encourage you to, if you ever have like an evening to yourself, just take a moment to think about what you might do for a makeup look that makes you feel really emboldened, like your most fierce self. Think about makeup as this tool for potentially resistance or just empowerment. These are really amazing tools we have in our world to use. And I think they should be used more. Don't underestimate the power of a red lipstick. Yeah, I hope you guys really liked this type of video. A little bit different when it comes to the look, but I really enjoy kind of getting out of my comfort zone with this. It really felt really creative. I really also felt like I was unleashing a creative energy with this. So once again, just another reason to do this. Art is a form of resistance, creativity is, and owning that creativity and letting that side of yourself show or just, yeah, harness it. So yeah, that's it for today. Toasty, let's take it away. What have you done with my mother? He asks. Thanks as always for sticking it out till the end. I really appreciate it. And Toasty really appreciates it too. If you want to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this, more makeup explorations, it's definitely something I really enjoyed to do. And until next time, may you all find yourselves a little bit of makeup resistance, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, witches.